Hi guys, this video is going to go through all of the solutions for the assignments from last week. So 9-1 homework, 9-2 homework, the 9-1 extra practice, and then even the interactive reviews so that you can hopefully answer any questions you might have as to why things were the way they were, or make sure that you understand all this content. So the very first one, number 7 and 8, just said to identify whether it was a rigid transformation. So remember, rigid means that the size doesn't change, and so both of these are actually rigid. And the reason is because they're the same size, or the size didn't change. Number 13 says to, 13 and 14, say to copy the graph and then graph the image of the transformed one after. So instead of copying the graph, that's the good thing about having a PDF, is that I can just take these points and shift them. So if you look at 13, it says 3, 2. So every X is going to move to the right 3, and every Y is going to move up 2. So you can either plot these points, like this would be negative 9, 3. This one would be negative 1, 2. And this one would be 5, 6, negative 6, negative 1. And then you can add 3 and add 2, add 3 and add 2, add 3 and add 2 to get negative 6, 5, 2, 4, negative 3, 1. Or you can literally just count your points. So this one to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2 would move your point here, which would also be that negative 6, 5. This point, right 1, 2, 3, up 2 would be here, which would be that 2, 4. And right 1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2 would move that point there, which is that negative 3, 1. Then connect your new points. And that's what your translation looks like. Number 4, we're just going to count. So this one, 5, 1 means I'm going to the right 5, and then minus 1 means down 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1. That's that point. Take this one. Here, let's do different colors. This one, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1. Take this point, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1. And this last point, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1. And then connect those sides, and there's your translated quadrilateral. All right, then 17 and 18 actually say to write the rule. What's the translation from it says the blue figures the translation of the black. So the black is the pre-image and the blue is the image. So I would want to know how to get from this point to this point. So I went right 1 and down 1. So that looks like it's 1, 1. From here to here, from this point to this point, I went right 1, down 1. So, sorry, this should be negative 1. Right 1, negative 1. And then this last one here, I went right 1 and I went down 1, so 1, negative 1. So this is my translation, 1, negative 1. The other way to look at it is if I had plotted these points. So these are, like this would be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, 1. And it moved to negative 2, 0. So negative 2 minus a negative 3 becomes 1, and 0 minus 1 becomes negative 1. So that's the other way that you can get the translation of those points. Looking at 18, I'm going to count them again. Just pick one, maybe check it with another one. If I'm going from this point to this point, my X is 1, 2, 3, 4, and my Y is 1, 2, 3 up. So 4, 3. Let's check it with this one to this one. So I went right 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a positive 4. And then up 1, 2, 3. Again, it's the same. So I know that that's my translation. Okay, then came the extra practice that was assigned. So here's the worksheet. Numbers 1 through 4 say tell whether the transformation appears to be a rigid motion. Again, this would mean it stays the same. This appears to be yes. This appears to be yes. This is definitely a no. They change size. This is a yes. So all of the yeses are because they are the same size. And the no is it got smaller or just not the same size. Okay, then it says, in each diagram, the dashed line figure is an image of the solid line figure. Choose an angle or point from the pre-image and name its image. List all the pairs of corresponding sides. So the angle or the point would be A goes to A prime, B goes to B prime, and C goes to C prime. The corresponding sides would be AB would be to A prime, B prime, AC to AC, and BC to BC. And then same thing here. This would be U went to J. Actually, sorry. This got flipped upside down. So U matches M, V matches L, X matches J, and W matches K. So UV corresponds to ML. UX corresponds to MJ. VW to LK, and XW to JK. Numbers 7 and 8 say graph the image of each figure under the given translation. So I'm just going to count down, left 1. This is my X, left 1. And this is the Y, up 4. So from here I'd go left 1 and I go up 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my point. That would be C prime. From A, I'm going to go left 1 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's A prime. And B, left 1 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's B prime. And then connect your points. And again, it should be the same size. This is 3, 3, so this is to the right 3, and this is up 3. So take the N, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, there's the new N. M, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, there's the new M. O, right 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, there's O prime. P, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, P. And there's my new translation. 9 and 10 say to describe or write the rule to describe each translation. So again, we just want to pick up a point or two to check it. So if I go from C to C, the right is 1, 2, 3. That's a positive 3. And then up 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, actually, going in the wrong order. I want to go from C to C prime. So I'm going left 1, 2, 3. That's negative 3. And then down 1, 2, 3, 4. That's negative 4. And then let's check it with, let's just say A to A prime. We have to go 1, 2, 3, that's negative 3, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, that's negative 4 again. 10, pick a point. So I want to go, let's say, from U to U prime. I have to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a positive 4, and then down 1, 2, 3, that's negative 3. Let's check it for X to X prime. So down, or left, go right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 1, 2, 3. So I know this is the right rule. And then 10 and 11 said graph the image of each figure under the given translation. So it said to take my coordinate points D, E, F and translate them left. This would be left 3 and up 4. So take F, go left 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Go D, left 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4. And E, go left 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. This is left 5 and up 1. So to N, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1. M, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1. K, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1. and L, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up 1. And there's our translated quadrilateral. Okay, then came the 9-2 homework. So now we're talking about rotation. Or reflection, sorry. Reflection over a specific axis. So this could be a line or an axis, the x-axis, the y-axis, or a line. If you look at number 1, it says, what are the coordinates of r, y-axis, h? So I'm actually going to copy a couple of these so that we can see it more than once. So the first one says to reflect it over the y-axis. So my y-axis is here. I want to locate h, which is here, which is to the right of it. So however many coordinates I went to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the right, I have to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's my coordinate point here, which would be -4, -4. Now I want to do the same thing with G, but x equals 3 is my line. So x equals 3 is a vertical line through where x is 3. G is 1 unit to the left of it, so the reflection would be 1 unit to the right of it, which would be here. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Okay, now I'm going to go over here to do this next one. It says graph and label R, the whole triangle over y equals 4. Y equals 4 is a horizontal line. So everything that's under it is going to flip to be above it. So let's say I start with F. F is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units below that line. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units above that line. Then I go to G. G is 1, 2 units below that line. So I'm going to go 1, 2 units above that line. H is from that line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. So I'm going to go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it may not be exact because we've come off our graph, but that should be pretty close to what it looks like. Okay, so for the next set, it said to find the coordinates of each image. So for 7, you wanted to find Q and then flip it over x equals 1. X equals 1 is this line here. Q is here, which is 2 units to the right of that. I went 1, 2, which I'm going to go 1, 2 to the left. This would be that reflection, which is -1, -2. Then I go R, Y equals -1 to P. So P is here. Y equals -1 is here. Let me erase off the last one. So that blue line is Y equals -1. P is from this blue line 1, 2, 3 units up. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 units down. That would be -1 and then -4. Nine is R, y-axis S. So y-axis is here, S is here. I would have to go 1, 2, 3 units to the right to get to S. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 units to the left to get to that translated spot, which would be -3, 1, 2. Okay, now look at R, y equals 0.5 t. So this is actually y equals 1/2, which is the line that runs in between where y is 1 and y is 0 and y is 1. Now t is here, which is 1.5 units below it. So I'm going to go 1.5 units above it, which is -3, 1, 2. $11 is R, x equals -3. So let me erase off this one. X would equal -3 along this line. And U is here, which is 2 units to the right. So I'm going to go 2 units to the left. This would have been -3. This would be -4. That means that's -5, and then -1, -2, -3. And then this last one is V x-axis. So x-axis is here. V is 1 unit above it. So you got to go 1 unit down from there. And that would be +1, -1. Okay, so for 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which a lot of you left blank, we need a coordinate grid. So I'm going to bring in a couple so that we can duplicate this. Okay, so I'm going to look at 13 first. And this says given points J is 1, 4. So this would be J. A is 3, 5. And G is 2, 1. This would be my triangle. Now that's the same one every time. Okay, so I just started with the same triangle each time. So for number 13, it says to flip it over the x-axis. So I'm going to find where the x-axis is, which is right here. And then I'm going to take every point that's above it, and I'm going to flip it below it. So J is 1, 2, 3, 4 units above it, which means it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 units below it. G is 1 above. It's going to come 1 below. And A is 5 above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to come 5 below. That's 13. 14, y-axis. So I'm going to flip it over the vertical axis. So now I'm going right, left. Everything to the right is going to come back. So that's right 1. This is 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. And this is 1, 2, 1, 2. $15. R equals 2. I'm sorry, Y equals 2. So my Y equals 2, horizontal line there. Everything above it is going to flip below it. So this one is 1, 2 that way. It's going to go 1, 2 this way. G is actually below, so it's going to shift up. And A is 1, 2 above, so 1, 2, 3 above, 1, 2, 3 down. $16, Y equals 5. So J is below it 1 unit. It's going to come above it. A is on it, so it's going to stay. G is 1, 2, 3, 4 units below it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 units above it. $17. Y or X equals -1. So X equals -1 is here. Everything's to the right of it. So we're moving from right to left. So 1, 2 units to the right means 1, 2 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the right means 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. And 1, 2, 3 to the right means 1, 2, 3 to the left. Last one, X equals 2. So J is to the left 1. I'm going to go to the right 1. A is to the right 1. I'm going to go to the left 1. And G is actually on it, so it's going to stay put. So those of you that left them blank or turned in duplicate work, you need to make sure you understand these questions. Hopefully this will help. All right, here's the Kahoot. So we're going to actually look through these. This first question was a translation. Everything was shifted down 1. If you look at the actual picture for number 2, it asked what the translation was. So if we were to count, we would have gone to the right 1 and then down 1, 2, 3. So the X is 1 and the 3 was, or -3 was the Y. Number 3, you have to, again, if it said to describe the transformation, it's that same transformation which we said was to the right 1 and down 3, which is why it's 1, 1, negative 3. Number 4, the reflection of the x-axis of the figure of J results in which image? So if we look at J, which is here, and we reflect it over the x-axis, which is here, everything below it would have flipped to be above it, which means that that shape would be G. Number 5, reflection over the y-axis of F. So if we look at F, which is here, and my y-axis here, if we flip that over the y-axis, again, we're looking at G. Six says using H as the pre-image, which transformation is possible? So if I used H as the pre-image, F over the x-axis would flip it so that it was exactly the same shape. So it would still look like this. It would just be flipped. So that's why that one doesn't work. If you look at the next one, it says G 710. So if I go from, again, my original being H here, 710 means this, each point would go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'd be all the way up there, which doesn't work. J, translation 10 to the right. So every single one of these points has moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units to the right. If you had counted all 4, you would have found that. So that one worked. And then also, none of these should not have been checked. Okay, number 7 says which transformation described matches the picture. So if I look at these overlapped, okay, the original one is the nod primes and the one on the right. So if I flip that, that's a reflection over the x-axis. The y-axis. Number 8, is this rigid? And the answer is no. It is not maybe. It is just no. Okay, the last thing that we're going to go through from last week was the quizzes. So number 1 said Q is the picture being reflected is it being reflected over the x-axis or the y-axis? So I know it's going from right to left, which means it flips over the y-axis. Number 2 says a slide is also called, and that would be a translation. Number 3 says what representation of translating a figure 3 units left and 5 units down. Left is the first one, so it's negative, and down would be the second one, so it's negative 5. Number 4, translations are always congruent. These don't change shape. Number 5, a flip is also called a reflection. Number 6, reflections are always congruent as well because they're both rigid. Number 7, what is the algebraic notation of the figure if it's translated 6 units to the right and 5 units up? Now we're going to the right, which is positive 6, and we're going up 5, which is positive 5. The original figure prior to transformation is called the preimage. The after shift is the image. The state the line of reflection of this diagram. This is flipped over the x-axis. Everything below it went above it, or above it went below it. Number 10, state the line of reflection. This time you're reflecting it over the y equals negative 2 line. Question 11, this time you're flipping over the y equals 1 line. 12, over the x equals negative 2 line. And that's it. So if you look here, you could see that everything is equidistant from this line. That's why it's x equals negative 2. This one, everything is equidistant from this line, which is the y equals 1. And this one, everything is equidistant from this line, which is where it's y equals negative 2. Okay, so make sure you're reviewing this stuff. We will take the break over spring break. I hope you do enjoy your week off. But when we come back, we will continue with new material. I cannot stress enough that I will not accept duplicate work. This is all you're being able to do right now is homework. So it's so important you're doing your own work. If you are going to copy from someone else or give your work to someone, realize that you will both receive a 0 for that assignment. This is something you definitely have to be accountable for on your own.